Hi. Tonight we're going to discuss the latest Washington scandal. It concerns Congressman Anthony Weiner and what's become known as Weinergate. It's a highly embarrassing episode in American politics. This very promising young congressman who worked his way up. His parents were teachers, lawyers. He went on to become city councilman at a very young age, youngest city councilman ever elected. I understand in New York City. Went on from there to get elected to Congress and become a national voice of the Democratic Party. Today he did not resign, but admitted his guilt or involvement in this internet sex scandal. One could talk and say this is limited to how corrupt politicians are or how bad they lie because he initially denied those things, but it's about more than that. It's about the pervasiveness of these new technologies and how they change the way we relate to people generally. The extent to which there's this kind of internet sexing, the exchange of photographs or intimate comments, or in which married men are having affairs, not physical affairs, but having emotional affairs, which can go on for extensive period of time, and the devastating effect that experts say these have in marriage. These are things that we should be looking more closely at and thinking about. It is apparently very easy for people to get into this pattern of doing things on the internet that they would not do in normal everyday life. And it is very difficult for people who've adapted to these patterns of internet behavior to recognize the potential seriousness of this conduct. But a spouse who discovers this kind of internet activity sometimes is more wounded and more hurt than had there been actual physical activity. And to a certain extent, it may have to do with the length of time that an internet relationship goes on. Internet relationships appear to be very emotionally satisfying for people because they don't have to deal with the everyday problems that you have in dealing with people. You get to relate to people only to the extent that you want them, and only to in the ways that you want. The scandal shows some other things too. I've always been amazed how people become deluded, whether it was Tiger Woods or now Congressman Weiner, into thinking that people that they have these relationships with, that these people are their friends. And what disturbs me more than anything, perhaps, is what it says about our national character, is to how quickly so many of these friends, or most of these friends, turn out to be people who will sell their friend out for a minute of fame, and how richly the rest of us gobble up the mess of someone else's life. Whatever happens to the congressman professionally, or whatever happens to, it's more important what happens to his family. That's one of the things he said today, and in that he is correct. Had the congressman been a Republican, he would have been ousted once it became apparent that the stories that he was telling simply weren't true. And the evidence against him was mounting for technical reasons, such as the ability to trace where the internet photographs has originated, and even the time that they had originated on the line. In America, it's not just Big Brother, it's the small town and the big community where everyone knows what everyone else is doing. And we really need to think about the fact that with that kind of exposure, we tend to engage frequently more and more, millions of Americans, into conduct which they themselves would find personally repugnant if they had an opportunity to reflect on it.